sit back, slip on your absorbent undergarments.
Damage 365 Radio with your host Kevin Nasta and John Torrey.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game, and how you play it, all about control, if you can take it.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio episode number 21. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and we hope that you get an additional day off tomorrow. I do not have a day off tomorrow. Back to the grind, but I did get a weekend off to recharge my batteries and to have some barbecue fun with friends and family. Coach Kev, along with the man who is back in the seat to the left. That's me, JT, the real number 8. Back in the house. Back in the house. Back in the house.
Raising the roof.
Raising the roof. Too bad we couldn't raise the sun.
I know.
And my dog is freaking out in between us and messing up all our wires.
That's okay.
Here we go. Okay, she's trying to get on the air. Free airtime for Hunter.
Not for you.
She is trying to get on the air. She's crawling in between us. And if you hear jingle, 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 or a bark or a scratch, it's her trying to get free airtime. But anyway, speaking about some airtime, hopefully we'll put the ball in the air many times and over outfielder's head, because fall ball starts this coming Saturday, and Damage invades the roster of the Nightmares. So we could have some damaging nightmares.
For opposing teams.
Yes. Myself, JT, and 3 other players from Damage Softball we named a couple weeks ago. Rachel Longos, Stephanie Allen, and Michael Kingreen invade the roster along with us 2. And we start next Saturday as we take on Platinum Mortgage in an opening day doubleheader at the South Beach Softball Complex.
Gotta look forward to playing those guys.
Gotta look forward. What a way. Wouldn't have it opened any other way. What an opening this is going to be. Of course, we should open up the season for alumni softball, because get the 2 oldest and longest tenured teams in Staten Island going at it.
Yes.
Damage Athletic Softball, created in 1994. The original version of Platinum Mortgage first took on Damage in 1996. So the 2 longest tenured teams will battle it out. Well, at least pieces of the 2 longest. Peace. But we wish the head coach Tommy Christopher good luck as he tries to guide this team to its championship. We, of course, are going to be along for the ride, and hopefully it'll be a very joyous ride and not a roller coaster ride like this spring.
I look forward to it.
What I looked forward to, I would say pretty much for the last 8 days waiting for it, I looked forward to this.
And now, the John Torrey story.
And to hook us up with that once again, JT. Take it away.
Taking it away. I'm back with the Tory story, guys. And I'm here to let you all know that the Mets have traded John Buck to the Pittsburgh Pirates because they have decided that the future is now. And, I guess they're tired of not making the playoffs. And they exchanged, young talent for more of the present talent now. And, hopefully it works out for both teams. The Pittsburgh Pirates look like they're on an upscale. They won today, 7-1. Took over first place again in the NL Central. And they're looking good. And the Mets look like the Mets.
Hoping to be the Pittsburgh Pirates of maybe for next year.
Which they could be. Hey, they got this new guy, Dustin Herrera, 19 years old. He's a prospect. We don't know much about him. But, what could you say about Mets prospects? Who comes to mind? Fernando Martinez. He's only batting .206
in the minors.
5 years after he was drafted.
Yeah.
And that's after 310 plate appearances.
And that's not even talking about the players that we had that just never materialized into anything, like the Alex Escobars and the Ryan Thompsons and Alex Ochoas, all those 5-tool players.
Right.
That the only thing they did was pack up their tool bag and go home.
Mm-hmm. But, I don't want to get too much into the Mets right now. We'll leave that later.
Yes,
For the
because
clubhouse
we will
report.
be debuting the Amazins report with our brand new analyst. He'll be calling in a little later, but that's something totally different.
Yes. And the Pittsburgh Pirates also acquired Joe Mauer.
That's right.
For Alex Presley?
Yes, Joe Mauer, very good hitter. Actually started turning it on power-wise in the second half of the season.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing this team in the playoffs. They could make some noise. Maybe the Cinderella story. You never know.
I don't think they're going to shock anybody if they win. I think they're good.
Well, they're under the radar right now.
They have a nice young nucleus of the team, and they have a nice pitching staff. And even when Jason Grilli went down, their closer, Mark Melanson, former Yankee, former Staten Island Yankee, stepped in and he's just throwing darts. And he's been lights out. And they have a very, very good bullpen. Very young, hard-throwing, strikeout type bullpen.
Right. And, playoffs might be a crapshoot for this team, but good for their owner. Going out there, getting talent, doing what he has to do.
How many years consecutively losing season? Was it like 17?
20.
20 seasons?
20 years without any October baseball. That's a problem.
You know what? That's why I always laugh when, the Met fans sit there and bitch and whine and cry. And I say, look, the Mets give us a lot of ups and downs. They do. They tug at our heartstrings. But it could be worse.
Absolutely.
We could be now I can say we could have been Cubs fans.
We don't want to be Cubs fans.
Who haven't won in our lifetime, or many of our listeners added together lifetimes.
Yeah.
And up until this year, I could say, at least we're not a Pittsburgh Pirates fan or Kansas City Royals fan.
Right.
Both teams looking
On the
like
upswing.
they can finish 500 or better and keeping that young talent and doing much better with the franchise.
Well, the Pirates will definitely finish over 500.
Yep. Well, when they clinch that day, where they clinch a winning record, I can see there's probably going to be a mini celebration with that team, almost kind of like they won the championship.
That day's coming up.
They're going to be that curse-breaking team.
Yeah. They've got 79 wins on the year. 3 more clinches a winning season.
I mean, they got to be tasting that right now.
Yeah.
They got to be tasting that right now. I mean, they probably wish they could have a doubleheader and then like a single game the next day, get it out of the way early.
But, that'll be that. This'll be this. I have jumped ship. I have jumped to another sport. I'm back on football. Because it's coming. And can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Patriots cut one of the greatest players I've ever seen.
And who would that be?
Tim Tebow. Comedy, right? Man was a Heisman Trophy winner. He won 2 national championships. He won the first ever playoff game in overtime ever. On the first play, throwing an 80-yard touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas. And now, Saturday, he lost his 3rd NFL job in 18 months.
And now he's T-boning in his garage.
It's sad, because it might be really, really hard to find another. The quarterback with 2 big problems, throwing the ball and reading defenses, was cut less than 12 weeks after the Patriots signed him and just 5 days before the season. But, as my boy Tim Tebow sees it, he has a long, long, long journey ahead of him. It is not over. He actually said he will remain relentless in pursuit of continuing his lifelong dream of being an NFL quarterback. And I hope he can do that one day, possibly on the Buffalo Bills, who are in dire need of a quarterback.
Or just a reason for people to buy tickets.
Right. I'd buy tickets.
Yeah.
A lot of people consider the Buffalo Bills the only true New York team
It is.
in football because they're the only team that plays in New York.
It's cold, though.
It's really cold up there, but I like their field. I like when it snows, too.
That is the real frozen tundra of the NFL.
Lasting memories of when I was younger watching them in the playoffs. Against Dan Marino.
Jim Kelly.
Thurman Thomas. Doug Flutie.
Andre Reed.
Yeah.
What a team.
Those were the good
Could
guys.
never win, but what a team.
Wide left.
Could never win. They helped contribute championships to the 49ers, the Giants, and to my Washington Redskins.
Right.
Who, by the way, were 4-0 in the postseason.
Yes, they were.
Preseason, by the way.
Yes, looking on the upside.
Without RG3.
In Washington, too.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and people from D.C. The Washington Redskins were 4-0 in the preseason under Rex Grossman.
Now, what's wrong with that picture?
Oh, wait. Let me cue that in. Rex Grossman, ladies and gentlemen, as the starting quarterback of the undefeated preseason Redskins. There we go. A little late on that button. I have to laugh, too, and I'm a Redskin fan.
I laugh because the man played in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Behind a defense, but
yes,
he did what he had to do. He's a quarterback in the NFL, and he played in the Super Bowl, the biggest stage in sports, some people consider. You know, that's arguable, but
there's three, well, I'd say 4 or 5 humongous moments in sports that I look forward to. I'll say 5.
5?
I'll say 5. Number 5, I know a lot of people are going to say it's not a sport, but I look forward to every year, WrestleMania. That's my pinnacle. That's the pinnacle of wrestling. I look forward to every year. Super Bowl. 90% of the time I look forward to the Super Bowl because I get to eat really cool snacks.
Is that your number 4?
That's my number 4.
Really?
Okay. That's my big snack holiday. Because my team hasn't been in it in forever, so it's just an excuse to have snacks. Yeah.
And wings.
Okay. My number 3 is the World Cup in soccer, the championship game.
High five on that one.
Okay. I'm not a soccer fan, but that just brings out the most ridiculous people. That's kind of like tied with local NASCAR because it has its own fans and they're very diverse and it has their own group of people that follow them. But man, are they loyal.
Yes.
Okay, NASCAR fans are loyal, soccer fans are loyal. Okay, number 2 is World Series. Well, to me, World Series of baseball, not poker. World Series Major League Baseball. Because it's the capping of the season. I love watching, teams win as a team and celebrate as a team. But my number 1, and easily to me, is the Stanley Cup Championship.
Stanley Cup, I was thrown back. I figured that your World Series would be number 1.
No, I can go an entire hockey season without watching a single game, but I will not miss an entire finals of the Stanley Cup. I will at least watch the final 2 games of the championship.
Right.
Unless my team's in it, then of course I'll be dragging you to a local bar, stuffing our faces with wings and watching every minute.
Yes, and bar pies.
And it's been done.
It has been done.
We look forward to every year and hoping that the Rangers and the Capitals get to the finals because then we can escape on our own to wing heaven.
Well, they'll never be in the Stanley Cup finals.
No, it doesn't matter.
Maybe the Eastern Conference.
If they make it to the playoffs and they play each other, it's just like, oh, cool, where are we going to eat?
5 out of the last 6 years, we've been going out to eat.
Stuffing our faces with artery-clogging goodness.
That's right. And, see, now I have to apologize. I have to apologize to Tim Tebow for jumping off of what I was speaking about because the guy doesn't get enough credit, I don't believe. I think he's a winner. He proved that because his last play, possibly in the NFL, his last play was a 9-yard touchdown pass to rookie Quentin Sims, who was cut.
What was the score?
28-20.
That was the final score of that game?
The New York Giants lose to the New England Patriots because Tim Tebow proved he is a winner, whether it's preseason, anything.
Wasn't there a couple seconds left in that game?
There's 6 seconds left.
So, in other words, they already won the game without that touchdown. 21-20.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, in other words, it was 21-20, 9 seconds left in the game. Tim Tebow punches it in on a meaningless touchdown, and Karma came back and bit him and the receiver right in the holy tuchus.
But you gotta understand, on the field at that time are men playing.
You don't do that to the Giants. You don't do that to Coughlin. He's gonna get all red in the face and go nuts.
I know.
That was it. Coughlin, he Coughlin in the middle of the field, and Tebow lost his job.
Yeah.
So
that's basically what happened.
So Tebow is now Tebowing in his garage, fixing his Ford Pinto.
At least he's got one. The man had a shaky preseason, only 2 scoring touchdowns. It was the best of, his 3-game shaky stretch.
What was the first one? Then he had like 3 pass attempts for like -1 yard.
He had -1 yard. I think he was 1 for 7.
So his favorite receiver was behind him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, at least he's throwing to somebody.
Yeah, well, at least he's on his feet, unlike Sanchez.
Somebody caught something. He was 11 of 30, 145 yards in the air. He ran the ball 16 times for 91 yards. Better average than most running backs.
The problem is a lot of people are going to say, well, make him a fullback, make him a tight end, make him a runner. He's not that kind of athlete.
Plus, there's people that are better suited for those positions than he is. People are better than him.
And he's just not that type of athlete. He's not an athlete that's made to take full contact hit while he's running towards them. Remember, as a quarterback, you're getting hit usually by, on your blind side, but the impact is much different when you're running at a guy and he's running at you, head to head, boom. Okay, yeah. It's just a total. He's just not. He's a big dude. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not made for that. And for people to sit there and go, make him a tight end, make him a fullback. You know what? If it was so easy, him and I over here wouldn't be sitting doing this radio show. Would be backup fullbacks on some NFL team.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 6 foot, 311 pounds. Okay, I can run through people, but you know what? They can run through me too. So
I'm
it's not
6'1",
that easy.
165, and I can catch the ball, and I'm fast.
But
it's not
they
that
would break
easy.
you in half.
Yes.
When a 312-pound guy just puts a walloping on you as you're turning the corner, boom, lights out.
Yeah. Starry night.
That's why
like I'm looking at a Van
we
Gogh
talk it instead of play it.
That's right. But we talk about it well.
Yes.
And Tim Tebow, I will Tebow for you, as I have in the past, and I will pray for you, and I hope you'll pray for me.
I think we should have a moment of Tebow. Right now?
Right now.
All right, let's do it. Moment of Tebow. Thank you.
That was a Tebow moment. Props to Ryan Mallett winning the backup position in New England for the Patriots. You'll be backing up Tom Brady all year.
Yeah, you won't be playing all year.
So maybe next year you can get a starting job, which you probably deserve, but you're going to have to wait till next year, unless the Patriots decide to trade you for, I don't know, Jerry Rice, because they like doing that.
Jerry Rice?
Yeah, they like taking players out of retirement, bringing them back, turning them into something that they never were.
Yeah, but I think Jerry Rice was something.
He was something. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Figure of speech.
I would have went more with like
Wayne Corbett.
Oh my God, I was so thinking.
Was it rolling off your tongue?
Oh my God, it was.
Okay. Let's bring Wayne Corbett back to the New York Jets.
With a helmet 4 times the size of his head, so he can stay on the field.
I know. Sad. Guy takes one more hit, he could die.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like Rocky. Rocky, you take one more shot to the head, you could go blind. Oh.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, let's get somebody on the New York Jets, because they've only gone with 5 receivers. That's it. And Santonio Holmes is talking like he's not coming back yet. He's been on the practice field this week. He's made a major leap forward for the Jets, but he's not trying to get anyone's hopes up, saying he has been very limited, just working on getting in the groove of things, trying to get a feel of what he can and cannot do, and he's going to keep his efforts, I guess, to a minimal and steadily make good progress from there. Hopefully. What's that smell? I think he's stinking it up.
I have to apologize in advance, and for people who think that I'm just being disgusting, I am not farting.
No.
I went to our favorite pizzeria, who will be playing their promo later, and I had a nice, beautiful bacon pie.
I thought I was thinking about the Jets and the aroma came out of my pores.
The Jets was sizzling.
Yeah, they were.
That pork was from my mouth.
From Forum Park. Okay. Well, Santonio Holmes is recovering from a serious foot injury. It was a serious foot injury, a Lisfranc injury that he suffered in Week 4 of last season in an awful, debacling loss to the 49ers. The Jets scored 0. Santonio Holmes caught that ball and he threw it on the ground. And he let them pick it up and run with it. Now,
Sounds like our third baseman.
it must have been really painful. Yeah. It must have been really painful. But, you know, Rex says they're just phasing him in right now. And, you know, it's not like he's going out there for every snap because nobody goes out for every snap unless you're Calvin Johnson or Tom Brady, you know.
Or a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's really it. But things looking on the upside for him is that he was moved to the active roster from the PUP list. You know, physically unable to perform.
Mm-hmm.
He can perform now, and he could possibly be back for the opener. It's only possibly.
Santonio Holmes.
Santonio Holmes. There's a lot of possiblies going around in the New York Jets right now. Not possibly, definitely what Santonio Holmes did was 2 weeks ago he ran straight ahead at full speed and he caught a few passes from number 2 quarterback, I guess you could call him, Geno Smith, in warm-ups before their game against Jacksonville. Last week he repeatedly ran short routes and planted on that injured foot during practice. And before the team's game against the Giants last Saturday, he ran his routes at full speed. He said the foot was sore, but nothing worse than he's been feeling. So, Santonio, I hope you get better. I know you said you have a long career ahead of you, and I don't know if you feel comfortable at playing at less than 100%. You said you're going to take the best risks and best chances for yourself and the team. Well, let me tell you something. Best chances for this team to have you on the field. Because Clyde Gates, very inexperienced. Stephen Hill, second year, only played half the season last year. Jeremy Curley, on the upscale, but he's misplaced as the number 1 receiver. So we need you to step up and take your role as the playmaker on this team and be a number 1 receiver and catch passes from Geno Smith, Matt Sims, Mark Sanchez, whoever it will be. It will not be Greg McElroy because he was cut. And I feel bad for the guy because in his college career, I know it's different. He only threw 2 interceptions. His whole college career. He didn't throw any interceptions in the preseason last year. I mean, during the season, it was a little different. He rounded up on his back 11 times against the Chargers when he got his chance to start. But he also won a game when he got his chance to start against the Arizona Cardinals.
He'll get a chance to play somewhere at Buffalo.
I hope so. I hope.
We're just gonna name every released quarterback to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Maybe
or Oakland.
Maybe, yeah, where everybody's career goes to die. But maybe, and I say just maybe, Tim Tebow goes to Buffalo, and Greg McElroy is his backup.
Could you imagine?
And can you imagine him coming to New York/New Jersey and defeating the New York Jets?
I can totally see it. Tebow running the fake punt pass, throwing a 75-yard bomb.
Both quarterbacks come out, McElroy on the center.
Yeah.
Tebow wide right. Play action to the running back. McElroy back to pass. Throws off to the right to the sideline. Tim Tebow catches, runs for 45 yards.
Breaks 3 tackles,
and scores the game-ending, deciding touchdown in Buffalo's 24-21 victory.
Because he's a winner, no matter what team he's on.
And then Tebow's in the end zone, and everybody in Giant Stadium / MetLife Stadium / Jet Stadium / whatever you guys want to call it, start throwing shit out of the damn stands at him.
Or they Tebow with him.
Yeah.
Or they Tebow with him.
Maybe snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just hope it don't snow.
I hope not. But in Buffalo, your hopes are out there.
I can just see it. If he wins a game, they're going to be throwing snow up in the air like confetti in
Yep.
Buffalo. Woo, yay!
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
You never know. I mean, stranger things have happened in professional sports, so...
You want to hear something strange?
Sure.
Matt Sims. He could be the starter. He could be the starter for
It's
the New
only
York
strange
Jets.
to the Jets because of how it happened.
Yep.
It's not strange to any fan of Matt Sims because they probably think he should be a starter somewhere.
It's like finding the diamond in the rough.
But it's the Jets. It's just a way the Jets function or dysfunction. That's how things happen, and nothing can happen normal for that franchise.
Well, it never does, but that's why, they're considered the 3-ring circus. you know,
That's for sure.
whatever you want to call them. I like to call them, you know, they're the show on Broadway. Okay?
Hong Kong.
Yeah. I love tuning in to watch them, and I will be tuning in September 8th, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am going to be there. Promise you. My friend, Matt Sims, going to start for the New York Jets because Mark Sanchez will sit out because he's hurt. My boy will be back, though. So, my friends, that was the Tory story. Let's go, Jets.
Let's go, Jets.
And Tim Tebow.
And Greg McElroy.
And Greg McElroy.
And anybody else that leaves the Jets and has a promising career thereafter.
Yes.
Oops, did I say that out loud?
You did.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Amazings Report, and we're going to bring on our brand new New York Mets analyst, Nick. How you doing today, Nick?
Doing pretty good. As best as a Mets fan can be doing at this time, I guess.
That is true, but we have a lot of time to watch other baseball because usually our season's over by the All-Star break.
All-Star break, most Mets fans think it's over by opening day, actually. But
Hey, we got to think positive.
I don't like those Met fans.
So
we're realistic most of the time.
we are realistic. We every season we think it's our season, and they let us down usually sometime by like June, and then it's always next year.
It's been next year since 1986, so.
Ah, come on.
Come on, they were in the World Series.
2000, I got to watch that massacre live. 2006, Carlos Beltran.
He pooped his pants.
Yeah, I think ever since Oliver Perez, I think that's kind of where it's always been next year.
Yeah, and I remember being in college during that 06 NLCS game and just sitting there in my dorm room watching Beltran hold that bat on his shoulder and pretty much cried my seat.
Well, it's okay because you weren't the only one watching it because Carlos Beltran was watching it too.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
All right, so kick it off. I'm going to give you the mic. It's your debut segment, so take it away for us.
I mean, right now, the big news right now is the Matt Harvey injury. Pitched last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago against the Detroit Tigers. Had an okay game, pitched 6 2/3. Gave up 11 hits, but only a couple runs. And next thing you know, Monday morning, everybody gets news that he partially tore his ulnar collateral ligament, which is the main ligament in the elbow. He did that in his pitching elbow. So the question for all Mets fans is, what's next? Like, what's for the future right now? As of today, there's no surgery planned for his elbow, but he's going to go back for a follow-up once the swelling goes down. All Mets fans are definitely hoping that it's nothing serious, but another big question is, should he have Tommy John surgery? Even though it's not a full tear, do you want to have him come back in April like he says he's going to, and next thing you know, in May, fully tears it and he's out for another full season, or even worse, his entire career?
Yeah, that could pose a problem, because if they actually do spend some money next year and put a competitive team on the field, he gets shut down, say in like May or June. That could cost them the season and could cost them that money that they spent, because they might wind up trading that talent they just signed.
Exactly. I mean, look what the Miami Marlins did last year, or 2 years ago. They signed all this talent. Next thing you know, they're dumping their entire salary because they're struggling for a month or two. And if that happens with the Mets, like, their fans, they're going to be very, very vocal. I mean, he's 9-5. He was 9-5 this year. I mean, the record doesn't say much, but he had a 2.27 ERA. He had 191 strikeouts, which if you in 178 innings, if you do the math there, that's just over 8 Ks per 9 innings. He was the workhorse of the staff. But if he's out if he comes back for a month or so next season and ends up ruining his career, where do they go from there? The Mets are only a few small pieces away from at least being relevant in Major League Baseball right now. They need a big bat in the outfield. They need a lot of help in the bullpen, but they just need a little bit here and a little bit there to at least be relevant. And if Harvey goes down, that's even worse.
And the one thing I do like about the New York Mets, which they've done in the past, is that every year they're always able to take that one guy off the scrap heap, and he really, really performs. I mean, this year it was Marlon Byrd. You remember a couple years ago it was Jose Valentin.
Absolutely.
We have been able to take guys off the scrap heap and really, really get 1 or 2 seasons out of these guys. So it might not be, Alderson going out and spending, $130 million of free agents. He might need to only sign one big thumper for the outfield, 2 decent salary range middle relievers, and pick up 1 or 2 guys possibly off the scrap heap, and then all of a sudden, and I hate to use a comparison because I hate the Yankees, but you might look like the 1996 world champion New York Yankees, who combined farm system with veteran scrap heap players like Charlie Hayes and Chad Curtis and
Scott Brocious?
Scott Brocious, guys that people and other teams just threw to the side, and the Yankees gathered them up, combined their talent, utilized their strong points, hid them away from their weak points, and boom, all of a sudden you had this 96 championship team, which still, I say to this day, was the only clean championship the Yankees had since.
And that also started the so-called, I put this in quotes, dynasty, because I hate using that word, but it really started that run. I mean, they won in 96, 98, 99, 2000. I mean, four championships in 5 years. Not many teams can say they've done that.
And they were actually in the championship in 2001, but the Diamondbacks got the better of them, or they could have ran 5 in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And if the Mets have the young talent. I sort of compare them a little bit to the Rays, because they're trying to build a good team from the farm system. They got the pitching set up. I mean, they signed David Wright long term, and they have the talent. They have the young talent on their team. But the big thing is, obviously, with this Harvey injury, is you got to stay healthy. That's what every team's got to do at this point.
Yep, I totally agree. And Met fans, are you going to sit there and cry about R.A. Dickey and Jose Reyes? Has anybody even heard of Jose Reyes in the last 2 seasons?
No, and personally, I thought that R.A. Dickey trade was amazing.
You had to make that deal. I loved R.A. Dickey, don't get me wrong.
I did too. I think every baseball player,
he was everything that was perfect.
He was one of those guys who went out there, he enjoyed playing the game. He wasn't begging for all this money. He went out there, did what he had to do night after night, and he would have played every single day if you let him.
Yep. I totally agree. Everything was right about baseball, and Jose Reyes left this team because he stood for everything that was wrong with the game.
Exactly.
And nobody's heard from Jose Reyes unless you monitor the disabled list for the last 2 years. R.A. Dickey's gotten smacked around a little in the American League East, but he's still a very serviceable number 3, number 4 pitcher.
Absolutely.
And and I wish him luck because I love R.A. Dickey. I hope he pitches until he's 45 years old.
So do I.
And you got to look at what they got out of that too. I mean, they got 2 very young, very talented pitchers for the minor leagues, and then you got Buck and Dianor. I mean, those. Well, I mean, we'll go on to that in a little bit. But Buck's gone now. But I mean, he was batting better than he had been for the past 10 years of his career. I mean, he had 60 RBIs, 15 home runs. I mean, it's August, so he probably would have maybe hit the 20 and 70 mark possibly. I mean,
you put that on the Red Sox and nobody will even notice.
Exactly.
You put that on the Mets and it stands out because nobody else has 20 home runs.
Exactly. I mean, even with David Wright on the DL now, there is no big star on that team anymore. Harvey's down. Wheeler is that guy to stand out right now. Yep. And I mean, we saw it last night in the win over the Nationals. I mean, he's been getting progressively better and better, Wheeler. I mean, he pitched 6 2/3 last night, gave up 2 earned runs. He's been limiting his walks, which was his problem earlier in the season. I mean, he's 7-3 on the season, and with Harvey out right now, him and Neese really have to step up.
No, I totally agree, and I like John Buck. If anybody listens to our show at the very early stages of our birth. I said back then that John Buck should have been traded back then when he was the hottest player in the National League.
We got a lot more for him.
We would have got a lot more for him, but I can't complain because, look, Dickey brought us Darnell. Dickey brought us Buck. Buck got traded, and he brought us 2 minor league pitchers, one of them who could be up as early as September, maybe next year, if that whole nonsense with the waivers and stuff in the minor leagues. But again, that's what you need to do, and that's what the Rays have done, like you said, as they mix and match their minor league talent, and when they stockpile multiple players at the same position, they trade them for positions that they don't have in the minor leagues.
Exactly.
So that's a beautiful thing. So Met fans just need to be patient.
And I feel, and actually to add insult to injury, I don't know if a lot of people have heard, but both Henry Mejia and Jeremy Hefner are both out for the season as well.
Yeah, and Hefner is I think they need Tommy John as well.
He's actually getting Tommy John surgery. Mejia he just had bone spurs removed, so he should definitely be ready by beginning of the season. But Hefner, he's going to be out for all next season. And now, if you look at it that way, you're going to have to scrape the bottom of the barrel for people to replace Harvey, Mejia, Hefner. Like it's getting worse and worse right now.
Well, thank God we got Dylan G. He's pitching very well the second half. John Neese has pitched well since coming back from the disabled list. Torres has filled in very well as a spot starter.
Yep.
Daisuke Matsuzaka.
You know, you remember, Daisuke, he's going to fill the role for the rest of the season. Just think, we would have had Sean Markham here too, but we lost him because of a season-ending injury.
If you look back at the 09 season when all the hitters were going down with injuries, I feel like it's the same thing, but with the pitchers this season. We could probably just list off like at least 6, 7, 8 pitchers who are either done for the season or have at least been on the disabled list this year.
Well, I don't want to blame it on PEDs and everything else because a lot of these guys are young. So I would hope that PEDs were not involved because of the fact that they were very young, they're still developing, and they've come into the major leagues at a time where we are doing serious drug testing. So, I just kind of hope that it just, it's a random string of bad luck. And, again, when healthy, the Mets will have one of the best pitching staffs in the league. And I don't include Hefner because, to be honest with you, I don't even think I see Hefner pitching for the Mets ever again.
Yeah.
He was a number 5 starter. He pitched well above expectations this season. It's a shame that he got hurt. But, he can move on to another team, maybe become a number 4 starter for someone. And, kind of like an R.A. Dickey type pitcher. He can go out there. He's not going to blow anybody away. He's going to finesse you to death. And he knows how to pitch. He's not a thrower. He knows how to pitch.
And if you were just saying one of the best, they could possibly have one of the best starting rotations when they're healthy. If you look at it, I mean, if in a year or two when both Harvey and Wheeler have some innings under their belt, you got to look at it. Neese, Harvey, Wheeler. You have G as a 4th. Maybe pick up a veteran pitcher as your 5 spot. That's a really, really solid rotation.
And there's going to be a lot out there in the free agent market, and there's going to be a lot. I'm actually surprised they haven't taken a waiver on Derek Lowe, who's been out of baseball since before the All-Star break when he was released. Well, actually, I think he asked for his release from Texas. And I'm actually surprised the Mets haven't thrown a waiver at him just to get a warm body on the roster.
Exactly. And I also said this about during spring training. Why not? You needed a closer. Why not throw something out at Brad Lidge? Like I know he's a Philly and everything, but they needed a everyday closer. Brad Lidge, you could have tossed him the veteran minimum for $750,000, and he would have worked his butt off for it.
Well, you also got the guy the former Giant, the guy with the beard. Was it Brian Johnson?
Yeah.
He was available as well. So was there was another reliever out there too Valverde.
I just feel like the end of the bullpen has always been the weak spot. Catcher was, once Piazza left, catcher was the worst position on that team.
Right.
Now they've solved that long term, but I do feel like the bullpen is where they really need help.
No, I agree there. As we wind down your segment, we've got about 2 minutes left. Nick's Amazing Report is going to be an every other week segment. We also picked up a Yankee analyst who will be calling in the in-between weeks, the Pinstripe Report. Let's try to say that fast 3 times. And it's a very good segment to have, Mets and Yankees. We're trying to add all the local teams so we can get an insight of our minor leagues and our major leagues. The New York Penn League season regular season just ended this week, so you're going to have a lot of Penn League players that will be bumped up to full season A ball. So so you might get a couple of former Brooklyn Cyclones playing at the A level for the full season team. So, I mean, we're going to get a good look, especially with September call-ups of some players. So, like, I'm looking forward. I want to see Montero pitch.
Absolutely.
So, anything else you can share with us today?
Did want to go over that quickly, the trade that went
Yeah,
down earlier this week. We talked about John Buck getting traded. Both him and Marlon Byrd went to the Pirates.
Yes.
For minor league infielder Dilson Herrera.
Yep.
And a player to be named later and cash consideration, which as a Met fan we always need some cash. Herrera's a baseball player. He's going to report to Savannah. Hopefully we can see some good things out of him. He, for those of you who went to the All-Star game, he played in the future All-Star Futures game.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll see good things out of this kid.
I hope so too, and we're hoping we see some good things out of the Amazings reports for the future.
I hope so too.
But we thank you for calling, and
Thank you very much, Nick.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks, and have a great Labor Day weekend, my man.
Have a great rest of the show, guys.
All right, thanks. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Nick Tallarico with the Amazings Report, our first ever Mets Clubhouse Report. I hope everybody enjoyed that. We sure did. Give us a nice insight of the New York Mets.
Yeah.
A nice positive outlook for the team. And, as Met fans, be patient. I understand it's a cliche for us to say this, that good things eventually will happen, but they will. And where good things always happen is at Esposito's Pizza.
That's right.
So we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Esposito's Pizza and Pasta. Over a decade of excellent dining experience. Dine in, take out, or free delivery. We feature over 25 different types of pizza pies, and also will create anything you want. Our sauces are made fresh daily and use only the freshest ingredients. We also have good old-fashioned style entrees, cooked like your mom used to make. From wraps, calzones, rolls, and pasta specials galore to calamari and soups, all in a cozy atmosphere. Call today or stop on in.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event tonight. Andres, a giant WrestleMania!
Hulkamania is running wild.
My God, what a
Welcome back, and it is now time for our Stables Tournament results. As we said, round number 1, it was the NWO knocking off the APA. The Job Squad, they jobbed to the Click. So NWO versus the Click. The Wyatt family defeated the Oddities. The $1 Million Corporation defeated the New Heart Foundation. So the Wyatts versus the $1 Million Corporation. Speaking about the corporation, they lost to the Four Horsemen. So bye-bye, Vince McMahon. And they will take on the winner of the La Conquistadors versus I'm a Paul Heyman guy. And the Paul Heyman guys won. So I'm a Paul Heyman guy takes on the Four Horsemen. NWO Wolfpack, they defeated Revolution. And the Dangerous Alliance, they defeated the Machines. NWO Wolfpack takes on the Dangerous Alliance. The Dungeon of Doom defeated the Mean Street Posse. And the Corporate Ministry defeated the New Age Outlaws. So it would be the Dungeon of Doom versus the Corporate Ministry. The Heenan family defeated Camp Cornette. And the Generation X defeated Raven's Flock. So the Heenan family versus the Generation X. The Dudley family defeated the Shield. Wow, they didn't believe in the Shield apparently.
Whoa.
And the Nation of Domination dominated by Evolution. So the Dudley family will take on Evolution. Axe, Smash, and Crush of Demolition defeated the Ministry of Darkness. And they will take on the Brood as they defeated the Nest. So it'll be the Brood versus Demolitions 3, Axe, Smash, and Crush. And that'll complete the first round of our Stables Tournament, which you can view this entire tournament on our website at facebook.com/Damage365. And let's get into some wrestling news. The onslaught of poor Daniel Bryan has continued as the McMahons and Triple H send out the Shield from week to week to take out Daniel Bryan. It seems the WWE wants to keep the feud alive as well throughout January, but it's just not clear right now who will be holding that title between Orton and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
But we do know that this is going to be going on until at least January.
Definitely.
Rumor is that AJ Lee is going to drop her Divas title at Night of Champions.
I hope not.
I think it's a joke, especially after her pipe bomb she had at Monday Night Raw, which was like one of the best that we've seen from any female wrestler, let alone a wrestler, period. Also, the WWE might induct Dr. James Andrews into their Hall of Fame for obvious reasons. I think that's a joke as well. Yes, he's done numerous surgeries for superstars, but he's also done numerous Tommy John surgeries for Major League Baseball players and NFL football players, and I don't think they're going to induct him into their Hall of Fame.
No.
Yeah. It seems that WWE is going to send COO Triple H back to the ring at least 2 more matches before WrestleMania. One of them definitely seems to be against the Big Show, and the other possibility is against Daniel Bryan. I guess we'll
it's going to be a showstopper.
Yeah, it's going to be a showstopper. But other than that, that's the end of that little segment there. But let's go right to the birthdays while we got some time. Happy birthday, James Cornelius. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Supreme's Phil Dupreme. Happy birthday. And to former Damage alumni, number 35, Amanda Girardi Gino. Happy birthday to everybody. Thank you, everybody.